Welcome to Windworks, the podcast for players who want to perform smarter. Today, we're diving into Hymn and Triumphal March from Aida by Giuseppe Verdi, arranged for wind orchestra by the Dutch arranger Rocus van Yperen, and published by Molenaar edition BV. It's rated level 4, so expect real musical breath and a few technical asks, but absolutely within reach for a community wind ensemble.
Verdi wrote Aida for the opening of the Khedivial Opera House in Cairo in 1871, and the triumphal scene, where this hymn and march come from, was conceived as a grand public spectacle. Think procession, banners, a military band on stage, and the famous Aida trumpets, those long, straight, ceremonial trumpets. In a wind orchestra, we don't have strings to cushion anything, so all that color, weight, and shimmer has to be sculpted by our winds and percussion.
In Van Yperen's wind adaptation, the hymn usually opens in broad, noble homophony before the march's dotted, processional energy takes over. You'll hear classic Verdi, clear, singable lines, antiphonal brass responses, and a sense of architecture that builds in terraces, bigger, broader, brighter. Molenaar's house style generally keeps inner voices clear and practical for community bands, so saxophones and horns often take those middle chorale roles that, in the opera house, might have formed from strings.
A quick historical lens helps the style. Verdi's band writing in Aida isn't military snap so much as ceremonial dignity. That means we aim for buoyant, confident articulation without chopping off the line. Dotted rhythms should feel lifted, not hammered. The hymn flows like a noble chorus, think legato and breath support, while the march is firm and articulate without becoming staccato.
Form-wise, you can think of it as hymn, broad, sustained, everyone breathing staggered, long phrases. March, fanfare motives in trumpets and trombones with rhythmic scaffolding from low brass and percussion. Return or intensification, hymn colors return or are layered over march energy. And coda, the grand door opens moment. Full brass, brilliant upper voices, percussion anchoring a confident finish.
Let's talk sections and who carries what. Woodwinds first. Flutes and piccolo, you bring sheen. Intonation can be spicy when you're above fortissimo brass. Keep your pitch center by supporting from the diaphragm and aim for vibrant, not shrill. Piccolo, align with principal trumpet and glockenspiel, if present, and place the start of your notes right on the front edge of the beat. Clarinets, you're the backbone of the hymn. Throat tone, intonation, and the break can be traps. Pre-finger any register changes and keep fingers close to the keys in the march to maintain clarity. Blend down into saxophones rather than up into flutes. Think warm core.
Saxophones, you're the string section substitute. In chorale textures, keep a homogeneous, dark blend. Vibrato, minimal and aligned. In the march, articulate with front-of-the-tongue precision, but sustain through the ends of notes to avoid gaps in the inner harmony. Oboe and bassoon have covered, your color is golden here. Tune meticulously and think cantabile, not cutting.
Brass next. Trumpets and cornets, you are the Aida trumpet stand-ins. Keep fanfares brilliant but not barked. Dotted 8th, 16th figures must be true, not tripletized. Align articulations as a section and save your absolute top gear for the last third of the piece. If your conductor experiments with a small antiphonal trumpet group, agree on style and dynamic so it reads ceremonial, not aggressive.
Horns, you're the noble glue. In the hymn, aim for a warm organ-like sustain under clarinets and saxes. In the march, your offbeat support must be buoyant and absolutely together. Watch the stick. Trombones, lead with core, not edge. Your marcata supports the rhythmic spine. Keep slides economical to protect clarity and dotted figures. In chorales, long notes must bloom and then sit. Avoid crescendi that steal focus from the melody. Euphonium and baritone, sing. You often inherit inner melodies or counterlines. Shape them with tenor warmth and phrase endings that dovetail back into the texture. Tubas, you are the ground. Define the tempo with length, not just weight. If you have long notes, think energized sustain, never parked.
Percussion is the procession's heartbeat. Bass drum and crash cymbals unify attacks and releases. If you roll, agree on length and choke points. The march hinges on your consistency. Keep strokes identical so the ensemble can lock in. Snare. Ceremonial, not field drumming busy. If there are dotted figures, match the brass articulations and avoid overbuzzing, which muddies the fabric. Timpani. Tune carefully to anchor the hymn's cadences. Play with confident, round tone, and let mallet choice support the room. Harder for clarity in march sections, warmer for chorales. Triangle and glockenspiel, if included, sparkle on top. Crisp, short, and precisely placed. You're the sunlight on the gold.
Ensemble craft. Some practical checkpoints. Pulse. Agree on a dignified march tempo that allows resonance. It's tempting to push. Make the default subdivision the eighth note. Low brass and percussion. You own that responsibility. Articulation. Unify dotted figures. Decide as a band how much length is marcato here. A good rule, 85% length with a clear front. Enough space to breathe between notes without chopping the line. Balance. Hymn equals pyramid from the bottom up. March equals melody on top with a supportive but not overpowering underlay. If you can't hear the tune across the band, your dynamic is too high.
Intonation. In major chords, the third of the chord sits a hair low to lock. Brass, lick flexibility drills before rehearsal will pay off in those sustained, radiant tutti chords.
Musical character and storytelling. The scene celebrates a military victory. Pageantry, yes, but not brutality. Aim for dignified joy. Think sunlight on stone, banners unfurling, the slow gravity of a procession entering a vast space. It's extrovert music that still breathes. Encourage staggered breathing in the hymn so phrases feel like a single shared exhale. In the march, phrase toward cadences rather than playing everything square.
A word on rehearsal strategy. Start with the hymn as a chorale. Tune it like you would a slow hymn. Balance, chord stacking, release together. Isolate dotted rhythms across the ensemble. Clap them. Then play them at mezzo dynamic before adding fortissimo. Build the coda and layers. Add top voices last to prevent overblowing and make sure the harmonic floor is solid.
Finally, respect your stamina. This piece asks for brilliance, but it rewards restraint early on. If the last page doesn't feel like the widest, brightest, most confident version of your sound, consider dialing back in the first big arrival so you have somewhere to grow.
That's Hymn and Triumphal March from Aida, arranged by Rocus van Yperen, Molenaar Edition BV, Level 4. Go make it shine, without strings, but with all the color our wind orchestra can muster.
Thanks for listening to Windworks. To hear an example performance of this work, click the link in the description.